Welcome back to our haunted library. It's Matilda, and I'm here today with the Halfoweenthathon Wrap-up. Now, I am a little late getting this done because Regina and Lily and I took a little weekly retreat into the country. We really had a lovely time, but we came back with a lot of insect bites and a little bit of a clearer state of mind. Now, I prefer a luxury hotel, but wanting ain't getting. But anyway, I'm back. So I wanted to go over all of the books that I read for Halfoweenthathon. So if you don't know, Halfoweenthathon is halfway to Halloween, and it's hosted every year by the lovely Megan and Sue from Spine Breakers, wonderful channel, which I will link below. So why don't we just get to it? So I managed to complete all of the assignments for my TBR. So the first challenge was to read a book and watch the movie adaptation. So for that one, I chose one of my favorite series, and that is Dark Shadows. Now, I cheated a little bit because I watched the movie House of Dark Shadows, which isn't exactly based on this particular book, but close enough. Now, I really enjoyed this book. This is number 3 in the series, and I don't have the complete series, but I'm going to rush to eBay and buy more and see if I can find more because I just love this one. These are by Marilyn Ross. Now, I don't know if she wrote all of them, but the ones that I have seem to be by Marilyn Ross, who also writes Gothic romance. So this one was very interesting, and I really enjoyed it. Now, it is centered on Victoria Winters. We have not met Barnabas Collins yet, but Victoria is at Collins' house, and these strange people move in, and she almost gets killed several times. And I learned something new about the Collinses, which I never knew before, and is that they actually, part of their fortune was from slave trading. Did you know that? Because I didn't. And this is what Roger told her. And there was an old African curse put on them, which, explains a lot. So I learned something new about the whole Dark Shadows world whenever I read another one of my prized possessions, my Dark Shadows series. And do you know that Regina and I, when we were little kids, had the Dark Shadows cookbook, which is impossible to find. So if anyone has that, I would love to hear from you in the comments below. So The House of Dark Shadows came out in 1970, I believe. I remember seeing that movie when I was just an infant. And it really scared me then, and it still holds up. I mean, I went from watching the television show every day, like a lot of people, to going to the movie theater as just a very small tyke and seeing my favorite characters like Marilyn being turned into a vampire and then have a stake driven into her heart in a very dramatic way, and blood. You never saw blood on the TV show. So it was quite a shock, and it was great. Now, of course, if Dr. Hoffman hadn't fallen in love with Barnabas, it wouldn't have happened. But, that's how love works, as we all know, which I will get to later in the video. But anyway, I thoroughly enjoyed watching that movie again and reading the book. So next, read a book about a monster. Now, I actually combined challenge 2 and 3. So 3 was read a book by a BIPOC author. So the book I chose for those 2 challenges was Crota by Owl Goingback, who is a Native American author, and it was fabulous. It's about this monster who lives in this underground city, and it gets into shamanism and Native American culture. I thought it was fabulous, and I would definitely read another book by this author. So this is what I love about doing a challenge. It kind of forces me out of my comfort zone and makes me look at a new writer that I've never seen before. So for that, I'm very thankful. So that was lovely. And then number 4, read a book with blood on the cover. Okay, well, this was a big surprise because I found this on our library shelf. This is In Camera by Robert Westall. So when I first saw this cover and the fact that it's a Scholastic publisher, I thought, okay, this is going to be like a Goosebumps or a Christopher Pike book. No, no, no. This was a very grown-up, really, really well written. I loved them. I read all of the stories in here. I didn't just stop at one. Each one has like a twist, kind of like an O. Henry twist on the end. I would love to read more by this author. So again, another surprise right on my library shelves. Who knew? And then finally, read a short story. Now this one I pulled off my shelf, and it just so happened to have a story in it by our dear friend Lydia Peever over at Typical Books. I will link her channel below. Her short story is called Grave Marginalia, I think is how it's pronounced. Marginalia, I believe, is Latin for doodling in the margins of your books, which I never do with my books, but I certainly did in high school with my notebooks. Anyway, yes, I really enjoyed this story. It's done with Lydia's dry sense of humor, I would say, but it's about finding all these little body parts in library books. And of course, I love libraries, and I just thought it was fabulous. So, as promised, today, live on air, I am going to do a love reversal spell to finally wash that vampire Lestat out of my bloodstream once and for all. So I got so many suggestions on how to create the perfect love reversal spell. And I had no idea which one to choose, so I thought, why not do all of them? That is, after all, my fashion sense. When in doubt, add more. So here we go. Double, double, toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble. See, Regina's not the only one who can recite Shakespeare. Here are some herbs that Merce from Harpies in the Tree sent me. Ooh, it's really bubbling now. I think all it needs for just that little extra kick is a little bit of Florida water. I think it worked. My God, it worked. Happy Halfoweenthathon, everyone. I think I'm gonna have to lie down for a while. Bye.